Ofentse Rakhudu.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The floor is yours, bro. Please, I don't know if you'd like to introduce yourself to the audience. Yo, it's Ofentse. What's up, the peeps?
Don't know about the peeps, but I'm Ofentse Rakhudu.
Rakhudu.
Yeah, I'm Ofentse Rakhudu, born and bred in Pretoria. Don't ask me where, because, hey man, I was born in Kalafong Hospital, that's in Activism, which is where most of my mother's family is. And then from there, I spent my preschool days in Soshanguve with my grandmother from my father's side. And then primary school, that was round about when we, 94, 95, when apartheid just stopped. The Rugby World Cup is about to happen. When the Rugby World Cup happened, my pops had moved us from Soshanguve to Centurion.
Sure.
So one of the first few families that we can it's called Verwoodbeck, before it's called Centurion. Nice army, like, place, big yards with stop nonsenses. yeah. So, but we had a tiny little house in the middle of the yard. So there was space in front of the yard and space at the back of the yard, and there was a little house. My pops is just see stuff that isn't there. So bought that house. Within a year, it didn't look like that at all.
Sure. Remember that you're telling people who you are. Stop nonsense.
Oh, yeah. You see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying, bro?
Feel free, I'm here.
Yeah. So I'm Ofentse Rakhudu, born and bred in Pretoria. Currently in the east side, the real east side, in the Kuruleni. And that's where I became.
Who you are today?
Yeah, that's where I became. Not in conclusion, not that what happened in Ekurhuleni is a complete result of.
Sure.
Yeah, but that's where it all came together. So 30 years, Pretoria, born and bred, hustle there, make it up, whatever we make up, get into the business, what we deem to be business at the time, or what we think can be called business, and we get into that playing field and we play, life hits, things take a big turn, and the only place available to go was Springs. I don't know anybody in Springs. I just happened to know a friend who was living next door to me, who when COVID hit and my things went south, because I was in the Wi-Fi space. So we were the first to stop. We were construction, we were excavating, we had to stop. So when we stopped, this guy says, hey, yo, I can help you, but not here. I've got a block of flats in Springs. I said, say no more. He gave me 3 months, rent-free. After that, I had to see to finish. He said, look, it's my thing, but there's people handling administration or whatever. So that you don't frustrate my people by telling them that you know the boss, I expect you to keep to your agreement. If you see you're not going to make the rent money back within 3 months, send them an email, bro. Write an email to that lady who's in the office, even though it's my office, and say, you will not be able to pay rent, you'd ask for an extension. Just write an email like that and she'll be able to action the extension. So I had that leeway coming in there. Yeah, I'm not so used to asking, especially more than I...
This is you explaining that you're based in Springs now.
Yeah. So
okay.
We moved to... So this is now 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been there since?
Yeah. So right now, so the organization, the community there's the Dafontein Uprising, the book, going back to school, starting an organization in the hood, starting a soccer team, netball team, all the things.
That's all Springs?
Yeah, that's all Springs from 2022 to 2025. So 3 years.
Sure.
Yeah, that's why I say it's where I got to now prove whether I know what I claim to know.
Sure.
Because it's easy to do that in Pretoria, right? When you're from Pretoria,
you've got
and
social
you've gone
capital.
to school, everywhere. I mean, the fact that we were moving around, primary school or Centurion, as soon as high school was supposed to start, they were in Pretoria East because I wanted to go to the best school that had football. So we went to the Glen and all my boys were there. And so now it's from west, all the way west to all the way east.
Sure.
And then varsity goes all the way from the east to the west, like almost to the northwest, to Garankuwa. Because TUT at the time, now I'm playing at TUT, I'm thinking, no man, main campus is here in Pretoria West,
sure.
right? So I say, okay, cool. I'm going to apply at TUT because I don't feel like going to tax, because tax is just going to be a repetition of what my high school was. And the way my life was set up is that I've become so used to rebirth or renewal at different stages in my life.
Different geographies?
Yeah, at different phases, because preschool is not where I did primary school, and primary school is not where I did high school, and high school is not where I did. And all of them came with new me, new friends, street cred all over again.
Yeah.
Build it up. Get cool with the ladies in that space. Do what they like. Then move to the east. Do the same thing there. Now moved to the west, all the way to the west. I'd never been to Harangu in my life. So we applied TUT. TUT says, this year, starting this year, we are taking you, but starting this year, we are splitting up our faculties. So because you want to study finance, you're going to go to the campus that we've allocated for finance, and that campus is Harangu campus. And that's how I ended up in Harangu now. Fresh start again.
One of the interesting things about you, I peeped a bit of your profile, is you've had 3 different surnames.
Yeah, I'm on my 3rd one now. So
Why? How
hey
does that
man,
come about?
I wish we didn't need to use them. You know, I wish I could just be Ofentse from like funny girl from the church or from the corner. What happened was that I was born when my parents were born, I was a bastard child, pen. So they were not married. That means they were not married.
Yes, you decided to call it bastard child.
That's what it is. I'm not calling it that. It's what it is. But anyways, I came before they were married. My dad, being the G that he is, 6 months later he put it on. So I was Ofentse Mohasha for 6 months of my life.
That's your mom's surname.
That's my mom's surname.
Yeah.
In Atteridgeville, and then I became Ofentse Monsu from the minute my pops did the right thing.
Okay.
Yeah, 6 months later. So there's a 6 month gap where my birth certificate is not the same as what my ID would be.
Okay.
That's now moving from Ofentse Mohasha to Ofentse Monsu. And to go from Ofentse Monsu to Ofentse Rakhudu, that my dad's surname itself, I find out that this guy's using his mother's surname.
Hey, son.
And it's a difficult thing to understand when you're a kid, because I kind of get it, because every time you go to the grandmother's house, my grandfather, there is a grandfather there. It's just that it took me a while to realize that he's not the biological grandfather, but he's the only grandfather I know and the only father my father knows. So for all intents and purposes, this is our grandfather.
It was your step grandfather's surname.
Sure.
It wasn't.
No, not even his. It's my.
It was the grandmother's.
Yes, my father's mother.
Okay.
Yeah, is a Munsu. So we became Munsus. By the time Malamela married her, my dad kept the surname along with his brother.
Sure.
Yeah. So now.
Why did you decide to change to your father's surname? I'm guessing.
Yeah. So that's my father's surname.
Rakhudu.
Yeah. So in the early 2000s, when we were still in Pretoria East during my high school times, so I'd say about 2003, my dad, for us to move from Centurion to Pretoria East, my father was working at Telkom. They had Ofentse. That's why we moved to Centurion from Kwale. And then Telkom was retrenching in 2001, if I'm not mistaken. And as they were retrenching, he was not one of the people that were on the list to be retrenched. He voluntarily retrenched himself and took a package, had some business ideas, got into the right business, not ready for it. So that happens, buys 2 trucks, 2 18-wheelers, puts some Dago City Deep, gets 2 drivers. You see, the thing about my pops is that you go from 1 minute he's reading the auto trader for trucks, and then next month there's a truck that you know about that you haven't seen.
He's an action man.
Yeah. So he does that. I don't know what my mom's impressions about that were. I know later, but at the time I didn't know what her feelings were on that, because this guy bought 2 trucks with 2 trailers each, put 2 drivers on there, bought them Nokia 3310s, and put them to work and put a salary in place for them. And so he did all the right things.
The story is you telling us how you ended up
with
changing your surname.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all this is happening in 2002 or 2001 when my pops takes the package and we go to Pretoria East, builds a house there. We live behind the house in a windy house. Now he completes this house, as he always has, because this is now our 3rd move. And everywhere we've gotten to, we've built the house or extended it. So he does this. In the midst of all of this, things go south. Everything. I mean, absolutely everything. I mean, the 1 month, the trucks, get this, all the trucks, all 18 wheels of a truck, parked in a truck yard in City Deep with other trucks. All 18 wheels of this one truck were all stolen at once.
Hectic.
And that truck happened to be my pops' truck. Yeah, so that stuff happens.
I've never heard of a cleaner.
Right.
I'd hear of cars.
Right.
But a truck sitting on bricks.
So that happens, you know. Okay, whatever. I'm a kid. I don't know the truck space now. I don't even know. What am I going to say to my pops? It's my pops, dog. If this thing is hitting him, what am I going to say? This guy's my hero. Okay, cool, sharp. So that happens. That causes a whole south side in terms of where we are at, our finances at home. Just life takes a turn. And you know, as culture would have it, and tradition, if you see now I lost my train of thought.
Succumb to maybe bad experiences.
Yeah, but traditionally you're gonna be told, no, the reason why all these things are happening is
that's
because
what I was assuming. Yeah, there's something
so
wrong.
that
with him.
happens to him, you know. He goes through that and then kicks off the spiritual what and there's suggestions. Somebody says go see Gogbanban. Somebody says I know a guy. Somebody says, you know what I'm saying? That whole thing happens.
That's what your father went through.
Yeah, he goes through all of that, and he's a mountain. The final answer that he gets out of all of that, the final thing that he gets is that he must go see his father or find him. He's still alive. Okay, not an issue. Turns out this guy's in Rustenburg, 2 hours or an hour and a half away from where we've been all our lives.
Yeah.
He wasn't hiding. The grandmother, it's not like she didn't know where he was the whole time. Because, I mean, now that we asked, here we are. We're at his house. Meet him. He looks exactly like my little sister. Looks like my pops. I see him. Everything just makes sense. I don't need to say anything.
Yeah.
He's just like me. I can see his swag. He's an old man, but you can see where all of this is starting to come from. You know, you see when you see 3 generations in front of you all at once. It kind of makes sense because you can see the thread, you know. So for me, that gave me, not that I didn't have peace, because I don't need to go search for it somewhere, but that kind of gave me confidence of being able to say, I also know where I'm from. I know what's up, you know. I don't just know my pops. Because up to that point, I just knew my pops. So then that whole situation
your father
results in us then having to...
Hopefully your grandfather's not using his mother's surname. Because now
I
it
know,
becomes
right?
even messier.
Oh my goodness, bro.
You know, the story is so common for most black people.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
You believe and you'd advise anyone, especially if, let's say, you're over 18, you're using your mom's surname or your father's maternal surname, you'd advise people to potentially go and search and try and change? Or is it up to the individual?
No, I wouldn't advise them to. In fact, I would... Yeah, you said you edit what you edit.
Yeah.
Look, having gone through this experience as a son to a man who only wanted the best for his son and didn't want his son to go through all this nonsense, you know, if really that was the reason why things went south. But you see now, as an adult, experienced person that I am today, I can tell you that I would not just look at spiritual reasons why his business went south. The first place I'd look is go look into his business.
Yeah. The logic,
right?
The reality.
Go look at the business. What business are you in? Who are your clients? Who are you servicing? Did you have a contract in place?
Sure.
What's up? Do you have insurance? Why is it a crisis? Yeah. So now they just hopscotched and leapfrogged to loss of direction, therefore. And my man, you must understand, even if that wasn't the cause of that thing, now it has to be the cause of that thing.
Of course.
Now it has to be, because not after all the efforts that we've taken, not after the drive that we've taken to Rustenburg and the instructions that we were told to follow or whatever.
If you're looking for a reason and you find it, that becomes a reason.
Yeah. So now that became the reason.
Yeah.
And that opened up a can of worms of huge misalignment, in my view. And Nakon, I'm saying that in hindsight, because I don't think I could have known better at the time.
Sure.
And also, it wasn't happening to me, it was happening to my pops.
Let's pause there.
Yeah.
So you've told us where you grew up, the schools you went to, tertiary, and then you explained the surnames.
Yeah.
We're in Springs now, you've been there for a while, and I'd like to think this is the main reason you're here.
Yeah.
What do you do? In Springs, you mentioned a couple of things, but I know you're an author. So maybe if we can speak about that and then other maybe community work you do.
Yeah, so I think to call me an author would be a bit presumptuous, my man. I don't regard myself as an author. I think it's a fancy title that is earned also. I mean, everything fancy. All fancy titles are really earned.
They should be.
Yeah. They really should be, and that's what the book is essentially about. It's interesting you should say that. So the book, yes, I have written a book, and that book is initially started as a memoir, a biography, you know, to talk about my life and all its varied sides. And as I was writing that book, which I did write and complete, but as I was writing that book, I realized that here, if somebody reads this book in the way that I've written it, it's not going to spark the kind of reaction that I want from this. You know, I'm not trying to get PT in certain elements or empathy here and then an applause here, and that's not what I'm really looking for. So I had to reimagine, repackaging this thing and presenting it in a way that it will meet the desired objective that I have. And that objective is to use these experiences that I've gone through, and they've been many because of the type of life that I've lived and how nomadic it's been, which would then explain to somebody who sees me coming to Springs from 2002 and do what I did in 3 years.
Sure.
And think, how could you ever, where did you start? And not understanding that in my makeup, I've been starting over since I was 5. You see that? So I needed that book to speak to the lessons learned, but further than that, give realistic, clear takeouts from the personal experience or the personal side of things that we can really apply in everyday lives, not just of ordinary people, but of guys like me and you. Because, and I'm not saying that with a level of arrogance, I'm saying it as a matter of fact to distinguish between my target audience and who would have been the target audience if I had carried on writing a book in the way that I was writing it, because it was more subjective and emotional, and it's draining, but it's my story.
Sure.
So I could choose to tell it in that way, or to let that birth what we now take without the faith and all of that, to say, look, when you get to a new place that you don't know, first step, you integrate yourself, observe. Don't do anything because you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Secondly, once you've done that, now you've got an analysis, you've done that analysis, now you can make a few conclusions. That book then moved from...
Does it have a name?
It's The Weight Before Authority.
The Weight?
Before Authority. It's exactly what you're talking
weight,
about.
Weight, not really. The weight
No, weight is into... Yeah.
Okay. Before authority.
Yeah, because usually we get the title before the weight, which is what we're talking about just now. That, I think of a queen in England knighting a knight, right?
Sure.
And that's usually something that happens post, as opposed to pre. That person must have done something heroic
100%.
enough to warrant that hitting of the shoulders. Just that the audience that's there in the courts, when this knighting procedure or knighthood procedure is taking place, they are seeing the sword go like this from the queen.
Sure.
And then from that point onwards, that person rises with a different title.
Yes.
So they are seeing the wearing of the title, or the inauguration, as it were, ceremony of this title.
Like an honorary doctorate.
Yeah.
Specifically the honorary.
Yeah. I was going to say that.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but also that, by its nature, I would think it was structured to be that the weight is proven first, outside of the systems that are traditionally there to achieve that goal. And if you can prove to reach the same sort of level of outcome there, even though you didn't take the same route, I think that's what the honorary is initially there for.
Sure.
Because there are rooms that guys like us can't get to because I don't have a doctor in front of my name.
Yes.
But I sit with some of these doctors, man. I sit with some of these doctors and I wonder if I even want to go into some of these rooms sometimes.
Because they work.
I'm speaking with utmost respect for those that are and those that have gotten there,
This is specifically PhD, not medical doctors.
Sure. So when titles come before actual substance, we get a problem.
Yeah.
It's the whole social media illusion. It's because I think I can paste some things up here on my avatar. Doesn't matter what's behind it. Doesn't matter if there's emptiness or nothing behind it. As long as the front windscreen is high. And
100%.
now we've done that with everything. Now society is like that.
Facts.
And so the weight before authority speaks to how I moved from a place where titles mattered more than substance or weight to a spot where, look, man, if you're going to make a promise today where I'm at, you won't have the opportunity to talk your way out of it in a press conference 6 months later. You understand what I'm saying? If I say to these people, you don't have electricity, this is a problem, I'm going to talk to the councillor or the mayor, I'll be back to you next week. I live with these people, I'm with them, I'm their next door neighbor, they've got access to me, they can knock on my door. So you best believe if next week hits, and I do not have feedback for these people to say what the councillor said about the electricity issue or any kind of feedback for that matter, automatically the trust measuring stick, as it were, unsaid and invisible as it is, takes effect now. Now, the next time I stand up and say, hey, yo, I've got a community program, let's clean up the hood. We take before pictures, and then I take my garden service guys, and they come clean here. You guys just need to help me with the petrol. I don't want to keep any money, so take the money, put it at your nearest plaza shop. I'll put a book there, you write your stand number there, and you put 100 rands. Tell me which stand you want me to come to, and we'll clean up your place. That's how the system works. Until
They won't trust you when you come back.
as unbelievably dope as this program is,
Yeah.
they're not going to get it. Even if they do get it, just because it's been presented by me, they won't take it. You see? So I moved from a space where I could sit in my room and post all kinds of things and make people believe that I'm somewhere where I'm not, to a place where I'll stand up and be look this good on your cameras, and then go right back to that dust afterwards and have to account to those people. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that switched it all up for me.
Are you a community leader? Before we get to community leader, sorry, the book you wrote, you said it's a memoir. But the thing that I see that is eating at you from what you've said is you wrote the book, but more than anything, you wanted it to be a message.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that is more important to you than just the documentation, to say, I need this book to reach as many ears as possible and to actually impact and affect lives, specifically of people that are similar to me, find themselves in similar situations, so that, you know, they can hopefully get to some level of clarity.
Yeah, you know.
Have people read the book? Have they given you feedback?
Those that are, my trust circle has read it, because obviously you need to. We're going through a publishing process. So.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, my trust circle has read it, and I keep my trust circle is far more credentialed than me. So their opinions I take, I'm not the coolest guy there.
I'm sitting with you here. People are going to want the book, so they can't get it currently.
Currently, it will be online. It will be available. So the book is launching in March.
March 2026.
Yeah, so March 2026. We're busy with the publishers. It's a 4-month process, which we started only at the end of February. So even March, I'm just saying digitally and all those platforms.
No problem.
It's fine. But the actual physical book, which is really what I am gunning for, and the reason why I'm gunning for that is that I need the placements of these books to be in educational institutions. I'm going to put these books for grade 10 learners in high school.
The Weight Before Authority.
The Weight Before Authority.
By Ofentse Rakhudu.
Yes, sir.
Dope.
Yeah,
are you a community leader?
Yeah, I am. And it seems like I'm hesitating when I'm answering that, because, again, titles. Because that's what messes everything up. Because there are people that went and call themselves business forums.
Of course.
Only to find today, whoa, to our surprise, they are thugs.
Yeah. That's
and
correct.
So I think a community leader is somebody who we won't even need to ask. I mean, the fact that you're asking me that question, I should be asking you, whatever prompted you to ask me that question, go with that. Because if you need to really know whether I'm a community leader or not, Pen, we need to finish this interview, take a drive down to the squatter camp that is Dagafontein, and the squatter camp that is Squatter Village, and the squatter camp that is N17, all in Springs, and let's go see there, and stop anyone on the street, stop a young kid on the street and ask them if they know who this person is or if they know what they do.
Sure.
Then similarly stop a grandmother who is homebound in her yard, so she can't really walk around. Go to her house and ask her if I'm a community leader.
Is Plastic City in Springs?
Say again?
Do you
No,
know
that's in the
Plastic
east.
City?
Isn't that in the east? I think it's in the
City.
east.
What's up, Jerry? Shout out to Umasbong as well, who's here. Sorry, can't just give Jerry a shout out only.
Yeah, man.
You don't know Plastic City?
No,
I think I've gone to do charity work there. I don't know if it's in Springs. Okay.
No, I know.
Was it
I was
Brakpan?
thinking you're saying Silver. What do we call that? There's an informal settlement in Pretoria East.
Okay.
We used to call it we were calling it Silver Lakes or what, Jerry? But yeah, so I was thinking that no, I don't know Plastic City, to answer your question.
I've sat with Unhlanhla Lux, one of my favorite young leaders that we've had. I appreciate that he's running a school now, mostly focused on drug rehabilitation. I really think he could have been a really, really great example of the type of leaders that I wished we had in South Africa, at least. Adopt a neighborhood, build, let's say, a Soweto parliament, and then focus just on turning that into Dubai.
And
Forget the country and government, etc. But I reference him because one of the coolest things he's ever said to me, I think it's the Chinese model. When we're looking at members of parliament and ministers, we need to go back to where they come from.
Sure.
And ask, what have you done there to be where you are now?
Wait.
You, the honorable minister, honorable man,
What does
but today.
honorable mean?
But if we go back to where you were born, the school you went to, can you draw a direct line to say, I studied here, there was none of this, I fixed it, and then I went to the next level. Then I went, by the time you get to parliament, by the time you become a minister, we know it's based on merit, which is how the Chinese government or the Chinese Communist Party runs. It sounds like you believe in something similar. Don't call me community leader or councillor or mayor. People should tell you the work I've done. And based on the work I've done, you should be like, you sound like you're a premier. Yeah. You've done work all over Gauteng. You're like, that's exactly what I am. Because you're basing it on the substance and not just the title of, Awufikilu Premier.
Yeah.
But what has Premier done that warrants? Based on substance, are you a community leader?
Again,
I must go ask.
You need to go to the community. Otherwise, then I'm campaigning and I'm anti-political. So all the work that I do in my space,
what work do you
I work with all political parties
what
and
work do
I'm
you do?
apolitical.
This is a better question.
I'm a community development systems designer. So I design community development systems. All right, I do that in 5 steps, in a 5-step process.
Yeah.
First, like I said, it's observation and analysis.
Before you become what the Romans are, study the Romans.
Yeah, and then secondly, we then develop a census. We do a census, so we need to know how many people are there. I need to know how many kids are there.
That's brilliant.
I need to know how many.
This is not even stats to say. That's you now.
No, this is me. This is my process.
Give it to me again. Community systems development.
Development, yeah. I design community system development systems.
Designer.
Yeah. So
Okay,
to design, you can't design
first
it.
step is observe.
Yeah, you observe and analyze,
And
right?
analyze.
Yeah. So and the second step, you then need to
Census.
you census the place that gives you
Counting,
who's
auditing.
where, house. You can't govern a space who you don't know how many people are there. How are you gonna ask for food? How are you gonna plan for food? How are you gonna budget?
100%.
Yeah. So you need to know. I know. You see, a census took place after I did my census. A national census took place, and while that national census was taking place, I don't know if it was national or if it was just in that area, but there was a census that took place that was authorized by the city through the municipality. And as they did that census, I wanted them to finish their census and then weigh the quality of the data, because we weigh the quality of data based on how much of the data we can turn into information, right? So it's one thing to just count people. It's another thing to know that in the people that I've counted, there are kids that don't have mothers, there are single fathers, there are kid-led family households.
I like that you said single fathers.
Yeah, no, they're single fathers. The real thing, bro. It's a
That's
real
not
thing.
common when people speak. Sure.
Because people speak from this perspective, and if you really build weight, these things become your life. You see this firsthand. I'll give you a perfect example. Before I carry on with these 5 steps, this morning, I dropped kids to school. About 6 kids, we dropped them to school this morning in Guatem. Do you know why I dropped off those kids at school? Because from Monday, they haven't been going to school. Do you know why they haven't been going to school since Monday? Because there are no buses. Do you know why there are no buses? Because they haven't been paid since last year, October. And secondarily to that, the department has suspended these bus contracts because they say their buses are unroadworthy. Only because there's an incident that happened.
Of course.
Yeah. So
where was that funded at Bale Park?
Yeah. So
rest in peace to those kids, man. Shit.
Here we are saying, you see what's happening? Kids have died, bro.
Yeah.
And as you hear me unpack this thing for you, you realize that I know you're already thinking, but what's the core? I hear you talking about the bus and this, but what's the core reason? Sure. What's the real reason?
I actually asked
why kids are not going to school.
Was it Dr. Nasipi Moya? I don't know if it was her or here in Joburg, where they were speaking about this thing of, I think it's the JMPD. They're now going to say scholar transport. And one of my questions was, okay, let's say you find a vehicle and it's not roadworthy. How are the kids going to get to school? People attack me in the comments. No, but you don't want kids in death traps. I'm like, trust, I'm on that. All I'm saying is you guys, because we know you're politicians. It's cool, it's vibey, cars are getting impounded. Do you have a plan? Because when you say a small car has got like 10 kids in it, which is an overload and it's not safe, it's wrong. The parents are going to tell you, we don't have money. That's why we use this guy, because he's cheap, our kids get to school. If you're going to say this is wrong, which we all agree to, do you guys have a solution? Because if you don't, our kids will stay at home.
Yeah, so...
Jeez, anyway, so you took the kids to school, 6 kids, because of the buses.
We've got a 7-seat, as you can see. So they were not overloaded.
Shout out.
Now, I'm now sitting with this thing, and it's a possibility of being the case for the next 3 months, Pen. So it means I must now come to terms with the fact that for the next 3 months, there's a possibility that kids in my community and surrounding communities might not have transportation for them provided for. These are underprivileged kids. These are only kids that get dropped off by their fathers, you know what I'm saying, or mothers. So I'm faced with a problem like that at a micro level. I call it micro because we're in a macro government, but there everything is micro, you know, which makes me a micro governor. I think that's an easier way to.
Oh, so you're taking a title?
Yeah, that one I'll take because
micro governor.
Yeah, I'm a micro governor because I'm not doing anything different from what the macro governor is doing, except I'm taking what the macro governor is doing at high level and bringing it all the way down to to micro level, because I don't think these people realize the ripple effects of kids not having transportation to go there when those kids actually can't afford transportation other than that one. I saw kids walking from one side of Springs to Kwatema this morning, and they were walking yesterday as well and the day before that. All right? Now, in the midst of all of this, where these kids are walking from, there's a facility that is locked up and it hasn't been operational at least since I've been in Springs. That facility is one of the old Life SCD buildings. So the Life Group, the Life Hospital. Yeah. So I think when they were doing the relocations of moving people around or whatever, that's one of the places where they took people out of. All right. So it's a fully equipped facility by medical standards. It's a fully equipped facility by medical standards. 2 years ago, I sat in a public meeting, right, with Makomri Daru Nada and the local councillor and my mentor, who's also a pastor there, Dr. Kaba, and who's an ANC member, by the way, and the councillor is a DA member. I'm a non-member, and we all were agreeing on the fact that this facility, this life facility, since it's on municipal, that property is municipal.
Sure.
I'm sure you can finish the rest of what I'm about. So then,
why can we not?
Why
use
is it that now we're faced with a bus issue to transport kids from here to here? There's a facility here, Pen. That there's a record, there's a meeting, an official public meeting to a community in Selkot. I'm talking a suburban area. So this is the up class of this low class area, right? So there are schools there. Springs Boys is there. Springs Girls is there. Selkot Primary is there. All those schools are there. And these comrades are there trying to tell the people of that place that they're going to build another school. And these people are saying, we don't need another school. It's congested. It's traffic. It's causing us nonsense. These guys are saying, no, we're going to build another school here. And we are saying, look, just down the road, less than a kilometer down.
That's good enough for
there's a facility already that doesn't need to be started from scratch, one. Two, it's far better equipped than a schooling facility, or what the schooling facility would require. Because it's a medical facility. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I don't think I've got a bus problem when I look at this thing. In fact, the bus problem is not my issue, actually. It's an issue between the bus as a contractor and the person who owes them money. So I really I don't see kids there. I don't see education there. I see a bus and a contractor. I see a contractor and a client.
One of the worst issues we have in society, today is there's these 8 steps, I think, of decision making. One of them has to do with defining the problem. And one of the biggest issues we have in society is we misdiagnose and we misdefine problems. So to what you're saying, someone could be, the reason they're not going to school is because of a pass.
No,
and you could be like, no, that's not the issue. The issue is not a pass. The issue is you guys don't want to capacitate a building in walking distance for them to study.
Simple.
As an example, someone else could be like, you guys don't want to give them laptops to study at home on whatever it is, but defining the problem before you throw billions into Midupi and Gusile. So when you're like, was that really the problem, or you guys just trying to chow money? No, we'll build a school because money.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
And at the same time, in the same Egrolini, I read a headline in Springs Advertisers telling us how the big education people went and upgraded a school, right, by putting kitchens and whatever, which is by no means not a negative act.
Yeah,
I'm for that. Shout out for real. But if we are celebrating on the 1 week, this is last week. Last week I read in the newspaper that the Department of Education has helped facilitate, upgrade the school's kitchen for home economic students, etc. And then the following week, I've got over 600 kids that are unable to go to school for possibly the next 3 months. And under the very same administration that
Yeah.
was saying I must clap for them last week for
Yes.
this portion of the table. Okay? But the rest of the table is full of shit. And
They can't enjoy
now
that
you
because
have
of
to
this.
eat a full meal here.
can't get
That's
to.
a gourmet 3-part something here. And completely disregard this shit. Okay, if you don't see it and you maybe try to cover it up, if I don't see it, homie, I'm surely gonna smell it.
Facts.
So I don't see which angle of this scenario can we look at it from to say we're doing better when we're not. We're not, dog.
You're passionate. Why Springs though? Just
Like I
do you
didn't
have an
choose
answer to that?
Springs. No, I didn't choose Springs.
You think it chose
me.
you?
It did choose me. Again, it's alignment. I had to go to a place, or I was channeled because I wasn't going to go there willingly. Nobody moves from Pretoria with friends like Jay, with everything that we've done, as cool as we are, and goes into
You
the
guys are
slowest.
cool. I don't know
You
about that.
understand?
That's
You understand what I'm
debatable.
saying? But in Springs, I can tell you how cool I am. With the low level of coolness that I might have here, in that space when I get, and I'm not saying this for any other reason except that it's factual. Because otherwise, how else do you explain a guy like me going to a brand new place where he knows nobody, and then moving from apartments? By the way, I couldn't pay my rent in 3 months.
Did
That's how I ended up in
send
this
the email?
No, but would you send an email about if
They
3
said
months
you-
passes
they
without
said you must send an email
3 months pass
for an extension.
without you being able to cover your rent? It's bad enough your boy is helping you out for 3 months.
Sure.
You being who you are.
You felt bad.
You being who you are. It's not about feelings. It's about who I am and what I am. It doesn't allow me.
Must kill that pride.
That's not pride.
It's pride.
No, pride is staying there and saying, my friend is the boss,
No,
therefore you all must take this.
No, pride is. I'd rather go sleep under a bridge when my boy has said to me, if you have an issue, let me know. Just let me know.
Perhaps
and you're
I should-
like, I can't because of who I am. Don't do that.
That's not what I said to him. You're asking me that now.
Sure.
But you see, Pen,
Did you find a place to stay? Did you stay there after 3 months?
Yeah. I left there after 3 months. And right in front of
went
it,
where?
to the squatter camp. Yeah. I know, right?
Pride.
No, but it's not the
Nayo,
listen,
pride.
give me a
Just say,
minute.
"Bona, man."
No, give me a minute. Bona, Pen, look. I think maybe the mistake that I made was that in the beginning of this conversation, I should have said something that will sort of put everything in place. Ne? None of this was my plan, first of all. I didn't plan all of this, and I'm going to get there and start an NPO and be a community leader and an activist and become influential and know everybody that's important to know there, and you know what I'm saying, and make events. And that wasn't the plan. Sounds great now that it's happening, but it wasn't the plan. And it would be a blatant lie to you, but more importantly to myself, if I were to say I had all this mapped out. With that said,
You believe your being in the squatter camp was the universe
it
sending
wasn't a
you?
universe. God sent me there.
Oh, you.
I call him God. I call what you call the universe God.
Okay.
Yeah, I call
No
him
problem.
God, and then I call his son Jesus, and then I believe in him, that guy.
Okay. No problem.
That fake guy.
No.
I believe in that fake guy.
Fake guy.
Yeah, because I'm saying Jay knows why I'm saying that. But anyways,
Okay, you're a devout Christian.
devout,
No problem.
unshakable. Just not. Yeah.
God, Jesus, as your Lord and Savior,
Yes.
sent you to that squatter camp. You
Yes.
couldn't have stayed,
How else, Pen?
and it wasn't you.
How else?
Okay, I hear you. And it's
Because
the only way
the
you could
reaction
have
that you
seen.
gave me.
It's the only way you could have seen what you saw to
It's the only
inspire what
way
you
we
became.
have the way of authority. It's the only way we've got the community desk. It's the only way you've got me sitting in here today talking to you.
I hear you. That's
Not 30 years in Pretoria,
That's
the Cap City. We've got all the opportunities. It's
called the Cap City?
Yeah, it's Cap City. How does he not
Oh,
know that this is
snap.
Cap City? It's the capital city.
Don't come on, Jerry. It's just Pretoria. It's just here. Come on,
It's the
man.
capital city of this country. It's not just Pretoria.
Cap City.
There's no union buildings anywhere else, homie. Until so,
Look, Joburg is better, but that's for another day.
Joburg is not the capital city.
Ah,
But Cap City, Pretoria is cleaner also. So
facts.
moving from a place like that, you know, and not just being anybody in that place, you know, being one of the cool guys and rolling with the best and trying this and that and doing your RFQs and thinking you know things when you don't and acting, looking like you're making it when you're not really, and you know what I'm saying? I come from that. I understand it. So the so-called hustle, I used to say a prayer every morning on WhatsApp, on my status, blessing that hustle. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's the space that I come from, and the agility has always been there. I've always been an entrepreneur. I have always had an entrepreneurial mind and all of that, but I was in a space with I was a star in a space with other stars. And I think when stars are grouped together in one place, it's important that like Abraham and Lot had to separate. These stars need to do this and then shine wherever they are.
Yeah.
So that later on they can reconnect and organize each other interviews for the work that you're doing there so it can get out there. Because now it's launch time.
I want to thank you for the work you're doing, by the way.
Sure.
Number one. I want to ask you a question, and then you need to get back to the 5 points. Yeah. Why are you here? Why did you come onto this platform to come and speak to at least the audience I have?
Few reasons. First one, because somebody who knows me and loves me very well and knows my story at such a close proximity felt it's not enough that I tell him this over the phone while he's at the AFCON in Morocco. So I need to, he said, I sent him a book and he said, I'm going to give you this review in person. Now, you need to ask yourself what would compel somebody to do that, you know? Especially somebody who's intelligent, somebody who's got their own weight, as it were. But for them to find it prudent and find it necessary, he found it necessary. I didn't want to do interviews. I don't do interviews because of my stance on building weight as opposed to
and high
speaking weight. Yeah. So I don't want to put myself in a position where now, even now, I feel a little uncomfortable talking about what's happening because to some it seems like it's all there. And to me, it's right here because it is right here. And the only thing that's making them think it's there, I'm speaking about things that are there instead of here, is because they haven't taken the time to come.
I hear you. You're the type of person who wants their work to speak for them.
Yeah.
And you're worried that if I speak for my work, it isn't earned. You should be saying, hey, we see you. And you're like, sure. If you guys want to talk, at least you've seen.
Yeah.
But, okay, I hear you.
Yeah, and remember, I'm a good presenter of things. I'm a brand guy. I built brands from nothing. That's what got me and Jerry together. We started a company in our first year, first marketing company called Mfana Pitori. You know what I'm saying? Didn't know what we were doing. No, in Pretoria.
Pretoria.
Mfana Pitori means
when you say first year, you don't mean tertiary.
I mean tertiary first year, 2008.
Okay.
2007, sorry. We finished matric in 2006. 2008, I took 2 of my friends from each side, kind of, and then we became a clique. Mfana Pitori, yeah. Mfana Pitori project managers. Don't ask me what we were doing because for the first year, we couldn't even define what we think our core objectives are. We just knew that we've got a company that's registered. It's Mfana Pitori and we're all directors.
Yeah. Who's the CEO, boy?
But CEO of what? You see?
Yeah.
It's the knighthood before the guy goes to war.
We got a CK, chief.
And so
I can send you the CK now.
That's what I'm saying, dog. I'm a director. And now you're not even listening. I remember there was a lecturer in my class, so you to deviate a little bit, when I was at Haranko and he's a financial manager. And he says, guys, some of these numbers you guys are writing here, you're only ever going to write for your bosses when you go work in these companies. You're writing like 500,000. That didn't sit well with me, Pen. Now, I had a decision to make there. Either I'm going to respond, and how I respond will determine whether I'm the troublemaker or the potential vision bearer or a potential CEO myself. That's the 2 ways it could go. If I make a decision to say to a lecturer, when he's saying to a class full of prospective chartered accountants, etc., that the only time that they're gonna do financial statements with these kind of numbers is when they're doing them for somebody else. So
either in class or for a big corporate, it'll never be yours, my boy.
So is a guy like me in the right place there, Pen? Is a guy like you in the right place there? In an environment where the shepherd is saying to the sheep, hey yo, here's what y'all are ever gonna be.
Sure.
Here's the ceiling of where it could get you.
Yeah.
But that's where most of y'all are gonna end up. Sure. And this person is saying this to you, as somebody who's supposed to usher you through this rite of passage.
Have you explained why you came here?
I'm not sure if I did. Yes. So the platform, I said to Jay, and I'm gonna say this to you and anybody else who, because now things, when this happens, now I can't avoid interviews to a certain extent. I have to, otherwise I'm gonna kill the very thing that I'm trying to say I'm protecting. I gotta understand that we gotta get things out there. However, the most important thing to me was alignment. I've looked at quite a number of your interviews, and I was watching some of them before Jay told me about you, but he told me about you because he said, "Hey, this guy reminds me of you." So I said, "Hey, let me check him
I
out."
remind you of this guy. Hey, never in a billion years, Bob. Hey, there's no remind me of anything here.
So this guy was like, "Hey, there's somebody need to meet. Do you the interviews, Garja? You know how I feel about because
So I mean, he sees a psychopath. Because are you a
Yeah,
psychopath?
you see? Now imagine what the world sees. This guy loves me. So imagine imagine the haters. Imagine what this all looks like to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Alignment.
Alignment, yeah. I had to look at your interviews. I had to look at what you are, but outside of this. But even you, when you speak, when you thought, your thought process, the way you are able to understand things that people who come here, who I would take to be of a much higher rating than you in terms of that knighthood that we were talking about. And then I just see you just level them up nicely and be able to sit in the room, showing me that you deserve to sit in the same boardrooms that all those people sitting. Clearly, I mean, if you can have a conversation with somebody at that level for an hour and a half.
These are facts.
Yes, but not to the world, right? Not
Of course.
to the world with psychopaths.
Yeah.
That's why we need to make our own spaces like this and come into it on your own.
I hope number 2 is that you came to promote the work you're doing so that we can get support.
Yeah, but again, even the support has to align.
Sure.
Yeah. It matters where the support comes from. It matters how it comes there. Because
Springs as a whole or specific parts of Springs is what you're passionate about.
no, Springs. I mean, Springs
As a whole.
Yeah, Springs
including
as a whole.
Ikasi.
Yes,
Kwatema.
of course. Kwatema, Duduza, Sakana, got boys all over there now. Remember, I went to the EECO.
Duduza and Tsakane is Springs.
Yeah.
Tsakane is not Brakpan.
Yeah, they border, man. But,
Okay.
But
Duduza,
those hoods are.
Tsakane,
It's Kwatema,
Kwatema.
it's Duduza, it's Sakana just further off. So
Okay. These are all the places you're passionate about specifically.
Yeah, specifically the informal parts of it. Because Elkikas, it's township.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Springs Boys, by the way. I used to be a band,
Yeah.
marching band boy.
Oh!
So shout out to
So
Springs Boys.
Imagine coming to the hood and seeing what you went through at Spring Boys. I'm talking the brass band and boys actually playing musical instruments. Today, like in 2025, 2026, seeing boys
Yeah.
play that in the hood, in the streets. And that's not something new. We've had brass bands, usually through the church.
Through the church.
In
mostly.
our places, yeah.
I think also St. John.
Yeah.
popular for that,
Saint Baba Bible Saints there, that.
Okay.
Then we've got it again, maybe through the police and maybe the army and
And the,
so it's like
the
drips and
colors and the
draps.
cape.
Yeah, through that festival. So it's not that this thing is something new. It's just that it's not been given the kind of attention that is required for us to firstly present it in a certain way to a particular demographic, for it to be received in a certain way, so as to produce the same results as those boys go boys I do it. And all.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think
Those are the reasons you're here.
yeah.
And then to
yeah.
promote your book, The Weight of Authority.
Again, sure,
Okay.
yeah.
You're happy?
The weight before
Before authority, my apologies.
Yeah,
The weight before authority.
Yeah, the weight is in heaviness. Let's get back to the steps.
Number 1, observe and analyze. Number 2, a census of the micro space you're governing.
Yeah. And then now you have to write that all down. So now you need to develop what I call a CSP, a community social profile.
This is number 3.
Yeah. We're
Community?
developing social profile. Because now you can profile them. I agree you've observed them, live with them, you've sold things to them, you've gotten into their yards.
This is
you've
basically
counted
a
them.
blueprint of how to
Yeah.
revolutionize, fix a space. Beautiful. Okay. CSP, community social profile.
With that community social profile, on step 3, it allows us to... Okay, firstly, what is a community social profile? It's simply all the information that we've had, like I said, we collected as data, and now we've converted it into information. So into information that is useful for us. So from a social perspective, as a social developer, because we develop communities socially and economically, I'm taking you through the social side. Socially, I need to check from this census, I'll know what's the status of the families here. From there, I then consult with the Department of Social Development, because as a non-profit, automatically I'm in there. I present all of these cases according to their template of how you must present needs and wants for communities. So another thing that happens there is also alignment. You see, alignment, I use the word alignment a lot because it's foundational to all of this.
Sure.
This CSP needs to align to what the Department of Social Development deems to be necessary in order for one to achieve or one to the boxes to take in order for certain things to happen. So
to get assistance
yeah,
from
to get
human
assistance,
resources.
etc., whatever. And look, there's nothing wrong with the systems and the structures. I'm sure you've had this conversation a million times. It's just, fella, in most cases, these systems and structures, one, are misunderstood. And secondly, because of that misunderstanding, they're not implemented as they should. And therefore, they then lose the impact that they're supposed to make, you know. So alignment is important. And I'm dwelling a lot on that fourth step, because this is the step where internally, as a community desk branch, if you want to form a community desk in your hood, this is the most important part, because this is where we really get to take now all this information and see the scope of the work that this community really needs now. This gives us, the community social profile gives us this community now laid out like this, to see this is what's going on here. Kids don't have parents.
Sure.
Parents are locking kids up. There's
People
an
are
alcohol
sick,
problem.
there's drugs.
So now there's health.
Sure.
There's social workers. So now I'm categorizing them according to the departments that already exist.
Yeah.
The macro government already has these departments. They're just not reaching my people. So I'm now cutting them down the same way you take 24 pack of toilet paper that you buy at Checkers,
Sure.
where now the spaza shop across the road I buy one pack. It's the same pack, they made it micro. So I think governance requires that.
Sure.
I think to take the very same thing and then scale it down. Vosi talks a lot about scaling.
Yeah.
And we need to be able to govern in a scalable way. So I know when I'm in a place like Dagafontein, which encompasses foreign nationals. I've got people from Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Lesotho, Swaziland. I've got all nationalities, all language-speaking tribes in the country. Ne? So it's 11 plus all foreigners surrounding us in this one area. So
Africa.
It's
not even Soshanguve, it's Africa.
So if you can govern that successfully,
sure.
have you not then, or do you not then have the capability to govern this? Because all it takes is scaling up, right?
Yeah.
So if I can get this right at
for
this
the
level,
continent.
if I can get this right, that's actually the purpose of the community desk.
Okay.
Yeah, we build community development systems through these steps, and then we just multiply and scale these systems. Obviously, it can't be detailed, because you will develop a community social profile once you lived in that community for 3 months, at least, seeing what's going on, what's what. So it's not something you can shortcut. You can't get stats from Stats SA, because Stats SA, unlike me, I've got a life census.
Sure.
So when a child dies, after they've counted somebody this week, Saturday somebody one card.
Sure.
That's -1. Next week a child is born, that's +1.
Sure.
So all these minuses and pluses, because I'm on the ground, and I've done the same thing that they've done. They've done it at a macro level.
Do you
I'm
feed
not
this
doing it at
data
micro.
into Stats? Is it?
Yeah, I feed it through the municipality. Again, remember, I'm not trying to build something outside of
I hear you,
this.
but do you feed it?
I feed the municipality.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. The only governance structure right now that I'm focusing on is the municipality, because remember,
I hope they pay you. And if they don't,
who
those
pays
are
me? Who would have employed me?
Stats SA. You're doing their work for them. But this is a conversation.
Yeah, that's
for
another.
offline.
We'll talk about that also, because there's an economic side to all of this. But I'm just taking you through the social things.
Sure. We've got 10 minutes, by the way.
Oh.
I
told
So I want to get to the last 2 points.
All right, so build a community social profile. Next step is to share that profile with relevant stakeholders after doing an alignment exercise of checking, okay, health, ke ba bakana, indigent, ke ba bakana, social welfare, this many. So this step is very crucial, all right?
Sure.
So after we distribute them to all those different ones, that's now where we outsource what we don't have the capacity to do ourselves. This is where we outsource it. So this
Step 4 or 5?
No, step 4. Remember, sharing this information with the Department of Social Development as a non-profit means that, in fact, I don't need to share it with any other department, because as a non-profit, when I share this information with social development, if they see in my case there's a requirement for legal assistance, for example, it's their responsibility as social development to make sure that that process begins, starts connecting with those people and make that happen. So there, I get to hand over that to them.
Sure.
I remain with what's in my control. I'm now still living with these people after I've counted them and seen their problems and all of that. I'm still living with them.
Yeah.
I've got social workers coming to the odd family here and there, to address there's a few cases here and there, but that's the bigger part of the problem. But now we need to figure out the everyday things, behavioral change programs. There's a problem with behavior there, all around from bottom to top. So I look for non-profits again. This happens in stage 4. anybody who does that specifically, that focuses on behavioral change programs. There's a company called CMT, Community Media Trust. They do behavioral change programs. They're with Soul City and those guys, awareness campaigns, etc. So when I've got a problem that requires behavior issues or people being spoken to in that way, I will engage those kind of nonprofits that will come into I'll make sure that I arrange the venue, arrange everything that's required logistically, and then make sure that they're able to come there and reach my people. Until I design programs as well. So, for example, I walk in the street, I see some papers here and some pampasses there in a corner. I don't like it. It's a problem. Problems convert into programs. Yeah, so then I develop what we call clean up Magasi. Then I get people together and we clean up the hood. Then it's a program. It stands. Now,
problems
convert into programs. Yeah. So for every problem that's presented to me in the hood, I immediately know that I need to design a system that will solve that problem.
Sure.
So hence I say I'm a community systems development designer. I know it sounds like a mouthful. Anyway, and then step number 5, now marry everything. Provide programs that will meet these problems directly and specifically, because there's nothing general about any of these steps that I've taken. In fact, in the micro government, there's nothing general. There's nothing macro. Everything is specific. Until everything is directional. Everything is quantifiable, easily quantifiable. We're not dealing with major budgets there. So just as there's a national government, a provincial government, a municipal government, I think there's a need now for a micro government. I think
we're supposed to have wards, but they're not doing what they're supposed to do.
We do have wards, and I'm working very closely with I told you, I work very closely with the council. Yeah.
That neighborhood government or that micro government is meant to be, but it's not doing.
Yeah, and now I saw that gap, and the biggest part of that gap, like I said, was firstly information, hence the desk. We're sitting at a desk right now. You're writing information on this desk.
What's a community desk to a normal person? Is it a WhatsApp number?
No. It's the name of the organization. The name of my NPO is called the Community Desk.
The Community Desk.
Yeah.
But the idea of a community desk, at least in your understanding, is it someone's house? Is it an office at a municipal building? Is it at the library? Or is it a WhatsApp? How does someone build a community desk is what I'm asking. Is it a physical thing or?
It's both. So all this is conceptual until we make it physical. So I've had the privilege of doing it conceptually and now doing it physically. But whoever wants to start a community desk branch in their area, which will obviously provide full support of and give the blueprint to and explain and support, they would have to, first things first, it's information. The role of the community desk was to inform initially. I started this organization to inform people because I realized, I say, why don't you guys have this? They say, municipality said this. I go to the municipality, do you guys really say this? They said, no, man, these people don't understand. Here's what it is. Then I go into it. So I realized that the first point here, the first problem here is information.
Sure.
And so when I think of the community desk, I'm thinking of, when you walk into a mall and then there's an information center?
100%.
Right? You just ask him, hey, Joe, I want to go to this particular store. He will help you with that particular problem and take you to that particular store. So what the desk does in the community is what the information desk does at a mall, as it were.
Thank you.
And it doesn't have to be physical. In fact, for the most part, like I said, all real weight is not really physical. We don't see the effect of weight in the physical. We see what's being carried and we see the person who's carrying it, but the effect of that weight, we don't see it really. It's all internal, yeah.
I'm trying to find a name here, yes. Because I've taken a picture with him. I'm on the page. So there's a platform called Ego Ruleni Parliament.
Yeah.
I know they were break off from Soweto Parliament.
Yeah.
I was meant to sit with the leader at some point. Okay. I'm just wondering how much of the template you're speaking to, some of the work they're doing, and whether there's a way to collaborate or there's certain resources they can assist with, and vice versa. Or if you guys are doing completely different things. Sorry, Ngwenya is the name I was looking for. I see their posts on Instagram are quite old. So I don't know if they're even still pushing. Okay.
You see what I mean? Because the presentation is top. Then you assume the weight at the back is also affected.
Before you close off, if I were to ask you what help you need, let's say from me, what help are you looking for?
I need you to link me with Vositemba Kwayo.
Okay.
The reason why I want you to limit
I'm going to say what will.
Yeah. It's
Benoni
yeah,
high.
it's got nothing to do with the social stuff. It's because all of the social stuff has to have an economic side that covers it. And in the same way that I've created a micro government or way of governing, the same is for microeconomics. So we're doing.
We'll have to have another sit down to discuss
yeah.
the economics of things.
Yeah,
because it's fundamentally important.
Yeah. So we're doing meat boutiques, which are butcheries.
No, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
No, we're scaling now. He speaks a lot
VT.
about scale. He can come to my hood if he's got the time, because I know he's a very busy guy. But to actually see, I don't want to give him a proposal in hand. He must come and see the meat boutique in action, see my garden guys doing their garden thing and community work at the same time and still maintaining it to be profitable. And seeing whether this system is scalable or not, and it is.
Whether Vusi or someone from his office or someone similar to him.
Anyone who's got the capacity to allow this, what I'll present to them, to scale without negatively influencing, without wanting to affect it, its makeup. Because I've taken 3.5 years to put this together, so I've given a lot of thought, Yeah, so I just need somebody who firstly understands it, and if they understand it and are still willing to assist in me multiplying this thing, then.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Any closing remarks?
Whoa, alignment, man.
Shout out to Jerry. Shout out to Masbonge.
Alignment. Shout out to Masbonge.
Shout out to all the stakeholders.
EEC, Springs Campus, SRC, my Dagafontein boys, Siakula boys, my football boys, Siakula boys, netball girls, superheroes. Shout out to them. Started an athletics team. Shout out to them. We're doing workshops with my boys after school to fix cars. There's a mechanic who helps them, who literally takes them through fixing cars every day for an hour after school. Shout out to Bratami. It's actually Bratami that I came here with.
Shout out to Tami.
Yeah.
Sorry,
he's an artist. Yeah. He's fetching the kids, and like I explained to you. So shout out to all those people. Shout out to community. Shout out to Masivuwe Productions and Media. Shout out to ISU. That's the Independent Student Union, which we're formulating with Masimbongwe. Another story for another day. Yeah. Shout out to you, Pen. Shout out to you. Shout out to guys that do what you do. There are very few, I must say. And thanks, man. I hope that this platform gives the kind of impact that I require for the kind of work that I do, But really, shout out to you, man.
From my side, are you an activist or a businessman?
Both.
You can't be.
My core. You're right. Can
I give you homework?
You're right.
Sorry, this is going to be my last bit. I sat with a guy, Justice Shabalala. We used to film with DJ Sbo on the Hustlers Corner. And he asked me about my businesses and failure. And I told him one of my biggest takeouts was, you either put people first or you first.
Yeah.
And a lot of us black people, because we come from poverty and struggle, we think we're business people, but we're not.
Yeah.
We're actually what's called social entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And you see it in how our businesses collapse, which is not necessarily a bad thing. There are solutions to it. But real business people put money first. Yeah. That means you don't mind kids sitting at home. Yeah. You don't mind retrenching people. You don't mind because you're like, does it make sense to the bottom line? Yeah. People that put people first, even when they're losing money, they're like, look, the company's not doing well. We're going to cut salaries just to keep people working. We're going to outsource some of the work just so that was expand our fit. When that person tells you they're running a business, they're not. They're running a non-profit. Yeah. So if you haven't done the homework, if you have, cool, you can give me the answer now. But the homework would be to figure out, are you a business person or are you an activist, a charity guy? Because once you can answer that, it becomes much easier to whoever you're speaking to, whether business person or activist, to be able to assist you the way you want. Most people think they are both, but they're lying and they end up struggling because they haven't fully quantified what it is that they are.
Yeah, you're very right, actually. And my simple answer should have been, I'm a people guy. I put the people
You're
first.
You're an activist.
Yeah, I'm an activist. I put the people first.
Sure.
And that's the purpose of, that's why I would start a non-profit. My aim is not to make profit.
There's people who have non-profits that are business
profitable.
People. Like FIFA. FIFA is not a non-profit, but it is.
You see what I'm saying?
Those are business people.
Do you call them people's people or do you call
those
them
business people? If there's no bottom line,
in a people's space.
There's no bottom line. They don't bring any World Cup or anything to you. It's money first. Always. Otherwise, they'd host World Cups.
Yeah, no, now it's people first, always. If I even told my executive that if ever you need to make a decision that's financially viable and makes an economic sense, and that the same decision crosses out one of these core functions or core mandates, lose the money.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of scaling, just you're going to need the business people. And the conversations are going to be uncomfortable, but they're going to help you do all the things that you like to do.
I'm ready for all of them, bro. We've got some things it's already in motion. When I say I need help, I'm only saying that because you're asking the question. But everybody needs help, you know. So
Uthe Ofentse is Nobile.
Mobile, yeah.
Nobile. Mukhashua.
Rakhudu, Mukhashua is the first one.
Mukhashua.
You skipped Muntu.
Muntu was first.
Mukhashua was first. Then
Muntu. I was going through them.
No, you're going through in the wrong direction.
I started with Ofentse. You said Mukhashua was first.
Yes, it was, yeah.
I started with Ofentse. Then I said Mukhashua. I was going to Muntu.
You are there.
And now you're at Rakhudu.
My man.
Ofentse Rakhudu.
So
Thank
far,
you so much.
So far.
So far.
Just now, my grandfather's. You also use his mother's name.
I thought you wanted to take your wife's surname. Okay. Ofentse Rakhudu, thank you so much, bro. We'll catch up soon.
Thank you so much, my brother.
Cheers.